Watson back to pass, throws, it's a complete Renfro.
13 being 13 again in a national championship.
Down, Hunter Renfro to the 5, touchdown, Hunter Renfro again.
And it's rolling. We're good whenever you're ready.
We'd all be lying if we said that we thought Hunter Renfro was going to come here and be the player that he is.
I was a little disappointed because I'd heard all these great things about him, and when he showed up, he looked like he was in the 8th grade and he was getting ready to go into his senior year of high school.
Coming out of high school, I was quick. I ran decent routes. Physically, I had to just get bigger in the weight room. I couldn't even bench like 145. I was struggling.
Being 5'11", 155 pounds in high school, it's hard to get people to understand that message when I'm trying to sell him as an athlete. This kid can play at the highest level.
This kid, like when they do one-on-ones, like this kid, he will kill, like he'll break some ankles.
To Hunter Renfro. Watson takes a snap, throws across the middle. Renfro.
You know, Hunter's gonna find a way to get open. Hunter will find a way to be that safety blanket on 3rd down.
Steps up in the pocket, throws, and it's complete to Renfro on the sideline.
I feel like for the people that know him and play against him, it wasn't that surprising. But for everyone on the outside looking in, they're like, who is this kid and where did he come from?
When he was in kindergarten, he was that child who was just hanging onto my leg, going to class, just crying, didn't want to go. I'd give him to the kindergarten teacher whom I knew, who was great, and he'd run underneath the table for about 10 minutes. He just was scared to death. And that kindergarten teacher invited him to go to a football game with her to see her son play. And after that, to the next day, Hunter said, "Mom, you can just drop me off in front. I'm fine. I can walk in." And when he made that connection that teacher loved ball, like he loved ball, he was a whole different child. And he's like that when it comes to a ball in his hand. He's very shy, but you put a ball in his hand, he just becomes a whole different person.
A very quiet kid, but a very persistent kid. He wanted to do things right, and he would do them over and over and over again to make sure he did them right. But he just loved playing ball.
He has it. If you've ever heard coaches talk about a player having it, he has it. And what he does is when he puts his helmet on and snaps the buckles, he has a competitive spirit that is second to none.
Being a quarterback just allowed me to be able to see the play, see what the DB's doing, see what I'm supposed to do, see what the receiver's supposed to do, just kind of become more knowledgeable. It made me run scared though too. I didn't like to get hit in high school, and I don't really like getting hit in college either.
In college, I'll play a slot receiver. I think I've always grown up wanting to play a slot and receiver. I just think it'll be fun. And,
you know, they all have a stereotype, prototypical type of receiver and thing that they were looking for. And, you know, at that time it was all 6'3", 6'4" receivers. They wanted them tall wideouts that could run like a deer, and you know, he wasn't fitting that mold. It was hard for them to visualize what was to come.
Well, actually, I got a phone call from David Bennett, who at the time was the head coach at Coastal Carolina. And he called me and said, "Hey, I found one." And you know, we had a player here, Adam Humphreys, who's playing now with the Bucks. And he said, "I've got a guy a lot like Humphreys. His name's Hunter Renfro, and I think you guys need to reach out to him."
Because again, he's playing quarterback, you know, run a little bit of option. You know, it's hard to tell, does he have receiver skills? I always knew I wanted to go to Clemson growing up, but I remember coming and kind of breaking at lunch. There was 2 sessions. Come back for lunch, and Coach Scott kind of pulled me aside, Coach Sweeney, and said, "We'd like to offer you a preferred walk-on spot." And that's not what I wanted to hear at the time, but that's what I needed to hear. That's what God wanted me to hear. And so I remember kind of riding back home in the car and just not being upset, but just being disappointed. Just kind of, I mean, I wanted to. I've always wanted to be a scholarship player at Clemson. I made a choice. I said, all right, I'm going to either feel sorry for myself or I'm going to embrace it and realize that it could be a positive, that nothing's going to be given to me. I'm going to have to earn it. And so from that point on, I've just worked my way to try to be a scholarship receiver. First day of practice, I dropped like my first 5 balls, and I remember thinking, dang, maybe this receiver thing is a little harder than I thought.
When you see him without speaking to him, you see a PE coach or a teacher. As soon as he like relates to you and can speak to you, I feel an athlete. because he used to be on scout team as his freshman year, and we used to see him just, give the guys who were on scholarship a run for their money as far as just giving them different routes and giving them different looks. So I think a lot of us knew, like, right then and there, like, okay, this guy might be special.
I remember every week it was like another dream come true, another dream come true. We had a great year. I got my first start, made it to the national championship. It was just one after the other. Everything was so new and just so exciting.
Nobody's thinking he's going to blow up against Alabama.
Coach Elliott did.
Oh.
I'll tell you the story.
Tell me the story.
All right, so we're sitting in the hotel. We're going through our last little meeting before we break for pregame, and I'm challenging the guys. I'm giving it everything that I have, and I said, you know what? This game is going to come down to an unlikely hero. Hunter Renfrow, you're going to catch 2 touchdowns in this game to help us win. And everybody's like, okay. And I don't know if I believed it at the time, but at least I said it. I remember him saying that and kind of laughed it off and be like, all right, well, let's see.
Throws, has it complete to Hunter Renfrow. Renfrow trying to make some guys miss.
First down and 10 at the Alabama 31. Watson wants to throw, looking long, wants Renfrow in the end zone. Did he catch it? He did! Touchdown! Hunter Renfrow against double coverage. Watson back to pass, looks across the middle, throws in the back of the end zone. Touchdown! Hunter Renfrow again! Renfrow, his second touchdown grab.
And I'm pretty sure he told me I was going to score on the play that I did for my second touchdown. So just to have coaches like that believe in me, that are going to give me that chance, it's truly special. I think I went from like 3,000 followers on Twitter to like 10,000 that night.
With 12 seconds to go, taking a knee, Bama will win 45-40. And for the 16th time ever, and for the 4th time in 7 years, the Alabama Crimson Tide is the champion of college football. Wow.
Obviously, we wanted to win the game, and we came up a little short. But I think that at least the nation saw tonight why we've been so successful. They saw the heart of our team.
In the moment, you're just hurting for the seniors in the locker room. From that night, really, I mean, the focus was on next year.
He was 155 pounds when he got here. Now he's a whopping 180 and, benches 225 1.5 times. But he was benching 135 once when he got here. So, I mean, he's just a guy that as he's worked on his weaknesses, his strengths have started to shine brighter.
I mean, he just knows all the details, the nuances. He thinks the game. He doesn't just go out there and play.
After the game, there wasn't anybody in our locker room that was surprised because we had seen him do that in practice to our defense. And maybe he hadn't had as many opportunities throughout that season or on that type of stage to do it. So I think it was really the country's first opportunity really to see him do that on that type of stage.
He's just like a special player.
And then he does it again.
Yeah.
We are just about set to get this national championship game underway here in Tampa.
There was a little bit of talk from their side right up leading to the game, that Hunter wasn't going to sneak up on them this time. Last year they didn't know much about him, and this year, they were going to be ready for him. So we kind of talked about that, and I said, hey, if they were frustrated last year, if you go out and do it again this year, they're really going to be frustrated because they've had a year to talk about it.
Watson takes a snap, looks, throws, has a complete. Hunter Renfrow, his first target and catch. Need to get something going now, down 14-0. This is the biggest that Clemson's been down in any game so far this season. Watson, quick snap, throws, has a complete. Renfrow at the 30, 14-7 as we have reached halftime here in Tampa.
We knew that what it was going to take to be successful, and so all our focus was on making sure we understood the plan, we can go out and execute the plan.
The moment for him is never too big. It doesn't matter who we're playing, doesn't matter when we're playing. You just know that he's going to show up and give the best that he got.
Hunter Renfrow coming from the slot, and they'll come with it. Watson throwing it across the middle as a complete. Renfrow inside the 20, inside the 10 and the 5. Touchdown! Hunter Renfrow goes in from 24 yards out for the touchdown, and it's 17-13. What is it about number 13 in a national championship game? Well, here we go. Clemson down 3 with 2:01 to go in the national championship game. Watson takes the shotgun snap, looks downfield, throws across the middle, first down. The catch to Hunter Renfrow at the Alabama 26. So a first down with just 22 seconds left. You can't stop number 13. You can only hope to contain it.
I was in a football analytics class, and we kind of went play by play on that last drive, and our percentage of wins, even though we got the first down, our percentage of winning went down a lot still. And I was like, we got the first, but I guess it's because the time ran down.
6 seconds left, first and goal at the 2, empty backfield.
What's going through your mind when you see that play come in?
It's hard to put into words. It's just happening so fast. I remember lining up, and it's the weirdest thing. I imagine dormant grass. It's because spring practice, just how many times we'd gone over it again, and we'd ran that play. It just kind of took me back to practice in those big moments.
And we're just looking up at the screen, just hoping that, Deshaun and those guys find a way to create plays.
But as soon as I saw us line up and I saw the configuration of the defense, I stood up, and I'm kind of looking, and then I'm watching. I was like, Deshaun, just don't miss the throw.
Watson goes shotgun, ball on the left hash, wide side of the field to the right. Watson takes a snap, rolls right, looks into the end zone. Hunter Renfrow caught it! Touchdown! 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 With a second left, Watson hits Renfrow, and Clemson grabs a 34-31 lead and is 1 second away from the second national championship in school history.
As a defensive player, 2 guys should never be pressed. And that's why they got picked. They hiked the ball, and as soon as I saw the route, I'm like, they're beat.
It was in slow motion. It really was. I just remember throwing. I see Hunter catch it, and I was like, oh, hang on to the ball.
And I remember catching it and getting hit, and I remember looking at the ground to make sure there were no flags. I didn't want to see yellow.
And that, by the way, that's his signature catch. I don't really notice of him falling back and catching it. He always makes that catch.
True Renfrow fashion, wasn't too much. Just catch the ball, pass the ball to the ref. Let's go sideline, celebrate with your teammates.
I probably would have done the same thing. I might not have been as cool with it. It's picture perfect. It's like a dream. He just kind of flips it right there to the ref. It was awesome. It's almost surreal. It's almost like it didn't happen. It was a dream. I've signed close to 5,000 now, Sports Illustrated copies, just for everybody, it seems like. It makes you appreciate how you got there, appreciate everybody who's gotten you to that point, appreciate your teammates, appreciate the coaches, their families, just makes you having a greater appreciation for life.
I think he shares a trait of leadership that his dad has, and that is not a talker, not going to rally people with what he has to say. He rallies people around him with what he does.
And there's no question when he snaps it up, whatever that situation is, he's going to be successful with whoever gives him that shot.
He's a very, very good football player, and I think that's what makes this game great. We get so enamored and caught up from time to time with a guy's measurables, and if they run fast, they're supposed to be great.
Great example of don't judge a book by its cover, right? He damn sure don't look like a football player. I'm just saying it like it is, but this will play some ball.
But when you step between the lines, it's just something happens, and football players shine through.
Everybody keep underestimating, because that's what's going to continue to make him be great. That's what I'll tell you. If you got an opportunity to get him, and then be happy that everybody's going to underestimate him.